Where are you?
We're at the Capitol, and I don't remember anything we read.
Tonight on Ghost Tourist.
Hi, this is Scott.
And I'm Cindy. And
we're
we're
ghost tourists.
When we travel, we visit haunted locations.
So we can tell you if they're spooky or dooky.
Our next stop was the Capitol building, which I'm sure you'll recognize from all the news coverage.
So that morning, we took the subway to downtown DC, where the major tourist sites are.
And the major ghosts.
Ghosts. Okay, so within walking distance are the Washington Monument, the Reflecting Pool, and the Lincoln Memorial.
And speaking of Lincoln, his ghost has been seen many, many times, but usually in the White House. Who are some of the people that have said they've seen him?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Two presidents' daughters, Maureen Reagan and Margaret Truman.
First Lady Grace Coolidge saw him in his office.
Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands was sleeping in the Lincoln bedroom, and she saw him standing outside the door and practically fainted.
Yeah, that Lincoln, he gets around.
He does.
And Winston Churchill saw him as he was getting out of the bath.
So Winston's butt naked, and he supposedly said, Mr. President, you seem to have me at a disadvantage. That's not the only ghost there, not just Lincoln. There's a whole host of spirits in the White House.
But we couldn't get into the White House. So our main stop of the day was to the Capitol. The boring old Capitol building, which anybody can do. Now, Peterson, where are you?
We're at the Capitol, and I don't remember anything we read.
Oh, did you bring the papers?
I hope I did. We're at the U.S. Capitol. President James Garfield is one of the ghosts here. An architect named L'Enfant, apparently a French dude, and John Quincy Adams.
After I talked for another 20 minutes, we went inside.
Woven into the great seal of the United States is a phrase, E pluribus unum, out of many, one.
A security guard says that the building's statues come alive on New Year's Eve.
That's not really a ghost.
No, I think he's confusing it with Night at the Museum.
That could very well be.
Where are you at?
The rotunda of the Capitol.
Was supposedly cursed by a guy named John Lenthal, who worked for the architect when the building was first being built, and supposedly Lenthal removed the supports for an arch, and the arch fell and killed him, and now his ghost haunts the halls.
There's also supposed to be a cat, a ghost cat that prowls the halls, especially in times of crisis.
Sure.
And then the cat supposedly will get really big when things get worse. So January 6th, this huge cat.
Big old Clifford the Big Red Dog.
And so that
cat.
sounds really dumb.
The one ghost most people talk about, though, is John Quincy Adams. So he had a stroke in the middle of a speech he was giving at the Capitol. And 2 days later, he died right next door. So they say his ghost comes back to try and finish that speech decades later. But while we were there, we saw nothing.
Nada.
So we got back in the subway and went home.
Mind the gap.
So on the spooky scale, we give the Capitol 1 out of 5 ghosts.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but it's not spooky, especially surrounded with the millions upon millions of tourists.
There were a lot of
that are about
tourists.
it.